Good morning, everybody. Croeso Cynarfad CHERISH. Welcome to the CHERISH Conference, Coastal Cultural Heritage and Climate Change 2021. I'm Clare Lancaster. I'm the Project Manager for CHERISH. I'm based at the Royal Commission here in sunny Aberystwyth, and it's my pleasure to be introducing the ministers from Ireland who will be welcoming you to the conference. We had originally planned for the conference to be held at Dublin Castle, but alas, along with other conferences this year, we've had to move to an online format. However, we've only postponed the conference and we'll be back on the 7th of September 2022 for a Project RAP conference, again in Dublin Castle, and we hope that you will be able to join us there as well. But being online does have its advantages though, and has allowed us to include speakers from all around the world, and we hope that you will be enjoying hearing from them all and to advance the discussion about how climate change is impacting on coastal cultural heritage and how we can work to mitigate that impact by sharing ideas and solutions. So we'll start the conference with the address from the two of the Irish ministers before the keynote speaker, Professor John Sweeney, and an introduction to the work of the CHERISH project from Anthony Corns. We'll then have parallel sessions running from mid-morning into the afternoon, and we'll have a break for lunch. And there will be a live chat channel that will allow you to submit questions to the chair to be asked at the end of each of those parallel sessions. We will then finish the day with a live panel discussion with panellists Tom Dawson, Will McGarry and Virginia Tehan, and we'll be putting up some questions to ask your views and get some discussion going, so we hope you will be able to join in with those. All of the talks and the panel discussion will be available on the Playback TV for 3 months after the conference finishes, and then we will be moving them to the CHERISH website. So you'll be able to view any of the talks that you weren't able to attend to today, or you can watch them again if you want to. We'd also like to draw your attention to the exhibition space. If you haven't already found it, then please visit virtual stands over the breaks to find out more about the CHERISH project, the partners and the funding bodies. And we will be doing a few tweets ourselves throughout the day, but I'm sure you've seen how busy we've been on Twitter. So if you are going to be tweeting about the conference, it would be great if you could please use the Twitter hashtag CCHCC21 and tag in the CHERISH project. That would be fantastic. So really all that's left for me to say is to thank you all very much for attending. And without further ado, I would like to introduce Minister Eamon Ryan, the Minister for Environment, Climate and Communications, who will be followed by Minister Malcolm Noonan, Minister for the Heritage and Electoral Reform. Diolch yn fawr, thank you very much.
Hello, Barada, agus Díomh. It gives me great pleasure as Minister for the Environment, Climate and Communications in Ireland to welcome the project partners, the Royal Commission on the Ancient and Historical Monuments of Wales and Aberystwyth University from Wales, the Geological Survey of Ireland, a division of my own department, and the Discovery Programme, also from Ireland. The CHERISH project is a marvellous example of international collaboration and the application of different sciences and scientific techniques to address the results of climate change. From an education and outreach perspective, the CHERISH project aims to raise awareness and understanding of the impacts of climate change, storminess and extreme weather events on the rich cultural heritage of our sea and coast. These impacts are the realities of climate change for us on these North Atlantic islands. As seafaring nations, we have a rich archaeological heritage along our coasts since the end of the last ice age over 12,000 years ago. The Irish Sea was the highway for trade between our lands, and our Irish sea coast showed the evidence of this. The west of Ireland also has a rich cultural heritage with promontory forts, medieval churches, harbours and shipwrecks. Since the CHERISH project began in 2017, we've experienced devastating storms and record droughts, and the impacts of these has been seen at a number of the project monitoring sites. At Doonbreg Promontory Fort in County Kerry, they've charted the significant seaward loss of land and the collapse of the inner wall. These losses are linked to single high-magnitude storm and heavy rainfall events. At Kilmichael Point and Kilpatrick Beach in County Wexford, where erosion of up to 5 metres per year is occurring, the team is using drone technology to monitor the erosion rate and assess the damage to cultural sites. At Braemar in County Dublin, CHERISH is monitoring change along the coast by a 16th century harbour. Data from this work are invaluable for the local authority for the planning of its coastal path. Welsh-Irish collaboration has been key to the success of the project to date. For example, the project has drawn on the expertise of Infomar, the Irish Seabed Mapping Programme, which is funded by my department, and run and managed by the Geological Survey of Ireland and the Marine Institute. One of the GSI's research vessels, RV Kira, has carried out 3 surveys in Welsh waters, and in return, paleoenvironmental expertise from Aberystwyth University has been applied to wetland cores from Ireland. I wish you all well in this conference, and I look forward to seeing more of the outcomes from this worthwhile project. Gur maigat. Diolch.
I want to thank all in CHERISH for the opportunity to join with you today in celebrating the wonder of coastal heritage. I applaud you for organising today's important conference on such an important topic to raise awareness of the significance and vulnerability of our coastal heritage. There can be no denying the impacts that extreme weather events and climate change pose to our heritage, our historic buildings, coastal and maritime heritage, archaeological sites and monuments. And accordingly, the work of CHERISH, including through this conference, is of such importance. Raising awareness, sharing knowledge and collaboration is key to meeting the challenges we share across these islands, across Europe and indeed the globe. We have recently signed a Memorandum of Understanding with Scotland on climate action and cultural heritage, and in the time ahead we will be seeking to sign similar collaboration agreements with other partners, including Wales. As our coastal heritage is under increasing risk, we have sought to embrace it with our ambitious climate change sectoral adaptation plan for built and archaeological heritage. The publication of our adaptation plan has been a critical step by my department in leading what must be a joined-up team effort to address the impacts of climate change. This is necessary to guarantee the important social and economic contribution our unique and irreplaceable heritage makes to the well-being of the state. In preparing our plan, we have benefited from the experience of a wide group of expert stakeholders, including CHERISH and all its partners, and I want to thank you all for their continued support and assistance. Through our plan, we are aiming to ensure adaptation requirements are prioritised by government during the formulation of future heritage policies and strategies, and support the undertaking of climate change risk assessments to evaluate the nature and extent of threats to our heritage. It is our duty to continue working together to implement our strategies. This implementation will be challenging against the resources required, and that is why we must continue to work effectively together across departments, public bodies and local authorities, communities, NGOs and other stakeholders. Working alongside others, including our colleagues in the Office of Public Works, Ireland's Discovery Programme and CHERISH, we will develop an evidence-based approach to formulating strategies and managing the effects of climate change. We will actively support research into the risks and vulnerabilities facing the natural and built environment. Through the implementation of our plan, we will seek to create awareness among civil society of the impacts of climate change. We will seek to develop structures and networks to facilitate engagement and to support the custodians of heritage sites in private ownership. In the development of the adaptation plan, we have recognised the need to increase the resilience of our cultural heritage and reduce its vulnerability to climate change. We aim to strengthen funding mechanisms to implement measures to protect this heritage, as well as funding mechanisms for assessment, recording and repair as appropriate. To that end, our grant schemes, including the new Community Monuments Fund, the Historic Structures Fund and the Built Heritage Investment Scheme, are all providing much needed assistance to the custodians of heritage sites to build resilience, and I'm very pleased that we have been able to increase the amount of grant funding significantly this year. One of our key priorities with your assistance is to engage better with communities on climate change, to build awareness of the risks and the impacts we face together, but also the opportunities through stronger partnerships, including through support of community-led citizen science initiatives. I applaud CHERISH for its work in such community engagement and offer our continued support in whatever way possible as your project continues. As we learn from your initiatives, which are helping to inform our own policies and measures to protect our heritage, to see such a panel of fascinating talks from such a global lineup of experts engaging collaboratively on this important matter is very heartening indeed. And I want to wish you all the very best with the proceedings ahead.